the letter buried in red dust. The year was 1932, and the Australian outback was less a place and more a relentless state of being, hot, red, and vast enough to swallow secrets whole. Evelyn Moore knew its emptiness well. She was a nurse for the Flying Doctor Service, traveling by truck and sometimes by horse between the scattered mining towns and isolated stations. Her purpose was life-giving, her journey deeply solitary. One of her regular essential stops was a cluster of quartz deposits near the edge of the Canningstock route, where the only resident was Jack Lawson. He was a prospector, a man built of wiry muscle and sun-scorched leather, known less for his finds and more for his absolute quiet. He was a man who listened to the desert, and the desert listened back. Their interactions were brief and strictly professional. A check of his health, a restock of basic medical supplies, a shared cup of lukewarm tea. But in the silence that stretched between them, something unspoken took root. Jack never spoke of his feelings, but he possessed a unique, meticulous ritual of communication. Every time Evelyn packed up her truck, preparing to drive toward the next horizon, Jack would disappear for a moment. Later, she would find a flat stone near the base of her back tire, perfectly placed. Lifting it, she would find a tightly folded piece of paper, a note, secured with a loop of red string. He used the only color that stood out against the ochre landscape to mark his hidden devotion. The letters were not flowery, they were observations. They documented the shifting light on the dunes, the passage of rare birds, and the sudden, breathtaking scent of rain that never fell. They were fragments of a solitary life offered up to her fleeting presence. For months, Evelyn's journey was paced by these secret correspondences. She would read them hundreds of miles away, carefully fold them, and place them in a leather satchel marked personal. Then one year, the ritual stopped. Evelyn arrived at the familiar site. Jack's campfire was cold, his tent was struck, and his few tools were gone. She searched beneath the flat stone, then beneath every stone nearby. Nothing. Jack had vanished into the desert, leaving no track, no forwarding address, and no red string. Evelyn waited a day, then a week, but the man who communicated in silent rhythms was gone, and the silence now felt like an accusation. 20 years passed. Evelyn continued her tireless work, her youthful passion hardening into dedicated purpose. She carried the memory of the quiet man and the unspoken words with her, the mystery of his disappearance a dull ache in her heart. Then, one catastrophic summer, a massive sandstorm, the kind that rearranges geography, rolled across the territory. When the air cleared, the storm had exposed something that had been hidden for 2 decades. A small, weathered tin box buried deep beneath what was once the floor of Jack Lawson's campsite. Inside, Evelyn found all the letters Jack had ever written, meticulously saved and wrapped in canvas. Underneath the stack was one final envelope. Her hands trembled as she unfolded the brittle paper. The last letter, never meant to be found in life, contained only 2 lines of handwriting. If love has a direction, mine will always point toward your next horizon. It was the final, perfect answer to her 20 years of waiting. He hadn't abandoned her. He had simply directed his whole being toward her future path. Evelyn Moore, the traveling nurse, finally stopped traveling. She secured land near the old campsite and, with her life savings and a powerful new purpose, built a humble, essential medical center for the miners and their families. She named it the Lawson Outpost, a beacon of care and persistence against the vastness of the red earth. For the man who taught me that silence can love too,